Hey, this is Gilgamesh. I wanted to talk about something. I love when people don't do research. I mean, this is AI, but this is accurate to why is Venezuela's economy crash in 2017? Well, you have to go back. Why could they not sell their oil? Well, it goes back to this. Yes, the U.S. imposed significant economic sanctions, often described as embargo on Venezuela, primarily targeting its crucial oil sector and state-owned entities like PDVSA, restricting financial access and debt dealings since 2017/2018 during the Trump administration. Under President Trump to pressure the Maduro government, these actions included asset freeze and financial market bans and restrictions on oil trade, targeting tankers, shippers, and aiming to cripple oil exports and pressure the regime. Through some temporary waivers had been granted, like for Chevron. See, this is what collapsed their economy, not fucking it being Maduro being a socialist. If you stop their ability you hyperinflate their currency, you actually cause what happened. Their currency hyperinflates. If you hyperinflate a currency, it will cause everything to become expensive. It's kind of like what was happening to this country when things became really expensive. And so what happened when they put an embargo on oil? Venezuela, their currency collapsed. They can't pay off their debts. And so, things went bad in Venezuela. And then when they can't sell their oil, they can't make money. And they used to sell it under Hugo Chavez. He sold it to the United States. This is heavy crude. This doesn't go for cars. This goes for military use. This is because before Hugo Chavez became the president of Venezuela, the CIA put a puppet regime that allowed drugs to be trafficked through Venezuela. And essentially the CIA used it to traffic drugs from Colombia through Venezuela onto the US, just like when they used Ecuador. And recently, remember when when the founder, Julian Assange, was in Ecuadorian embassy because the US and England wanted to put him in prison for exposing our crimes. Oh yeah, Trump loved Julian Assange when he exposed Hillary Clinton, but when he exposed the crimes we had done around the world, then he was a criminal that needed to go to prison. So what did the CIA do? They overthrew the Ecuadorian government to put Julian Assange in prison illegally in Belmonte prison. This is what what the CIA does. Trump doesn't run shit. This is the crime. Why was Maduro target? And Hugo Chavez's crime was when he said that Latin America should unify, to work together, to rely less on America. Just like when Gaddafi said the same thing about Africa. He wanted Africa, the continent of Africa, to take care of Africa, not to rely on these Europeans and Americans to be able to sell their own goods to make money for the people of Africa. That's the crime of the century. That's why Gaddafi had to be murdered. And they murdered him and sodomized his corpse. This is the defiling of human nature. This is the American government in a nutshell. This is the American empire. You want to talk about evil empire? The CIA's most evil organization in the world. They do terrorist things. I've said this in my previous video. The kidnapping of Maduro has never been done the way they did this. If this were legal, like Robert Barnes said, if they legally thought they had a case, why did they not go to the United Nations Security Council to present their case? Because they didn't. This indictment is such horse shit. Initially, Trump said, and this is what Brian Berlectic in his video pointed out, the weapons of mass destruction was the same lie they said about Saddam Hussein, which, by the way, he didn't have yellow crank uranium. He wasn't making weapons of mass destruction. It was a distraction because supposedly we were told Saudi Arabia funded the terrorist. These men that they kidnapped and tortured and everything that they could never put on trial because, oh, yeah, those people they kept in Gitmo they claimed were 9/11 hijackers. Huh. So, the problem is if Saudi Arabia was the one behind 9/11, why are we in bed with these Saudis? Because it wasn't them, it was Israel. Because Saddam Hussein was our ally against Iran. So why would we get rid of him? Because he threatened Israel if they didn't stop what they were doing against the Palestinians. He would use the chemicals we gave him to destroy Israel, to kill every Israeli. He had to go. That's what the threat he posed, not because of 9/11, which was done to purposely invade Iraq. 9/11 was an inside job by the people, by the CIA. They used Mossad agents to fly the planes in the towers. They detonate charges to cause the towers to collapse. Fires can't melt steel, but CR4 charges or thermite can collapse the... Oh, forget Building 7. You could see the explosions as the buildings, after the planes crashed. They caused the building to collapse because fire doesn't melt steel. It's not hot enough. So yes, your government CIA did a terrorist attack on its own people. This is the country, this is the organization that will kill American citizens without due process, commit political assassinations, kill others who dare threaten the people close to them. Remember Seth Rich, the guy who was looking into Hillary Clinton, murdered. Why? Because Hillary Clinton was connected to the CIA. Plus, her husband being close to Jeffrey Epstein meant she knew the people that she could put in prison. That's why she was never prosecuted for having classified documents. Because if you put her on trial, she would out them. And they were in danger of being outed. So they had to silence Seth Rich and anybody else who looked into Hillary Clinton. That's why she's never been prosecuted. Plus, CIA always puts their puppet in, not the people. And I'll explain this way. After the 2020 election, where Trump literally turned his back on his own voters when he had told them to come to the Capitol, it was all a setup, you idiots, by the CIA to lock the MAGA movement in prison. Trump left them there. They were set up to go into the building. They were set up to go to prison. And Trump said nothing. Do you wonder why he didn't? Because the CIA told him to shut his mouth. If he wanted president again, he had to throw these people on their bus and let them go to prison. He had to learn to not expose the crimes the CIA was committing at the time, which was stealing oil from Syria and destroying Venezuela's economy. You don't get to talk. He had to learn the hard way. He had to betray his base. The same fucking man who then, by pardoning these people, literally had them, if they took the pardon, had to admit they broke the law. So what did they do after that? When he told Mike Pence he could desert, which he legally could have, both parties got together and decided to take away the VP's power to certify the election. So no longer do states have the electoral college. And if you deny the election going forward, you will go to prison. That's why Kamala Harris had to accept the results. That means nobody can say the election was stolen. Even if it were, they couldn't say it. Because when they rigged the paper voting, the public let them see how they did it, and that shit didn't even matter because CIA controls the electoral college. They put their puppet in. They used Joe Biden to punish Donald Trump. He learned his lesson. He played their game. They did a fake attempt on his life that was so obvious the bullet hit his ear, it would have obliterated it. It's a high-power rifle shot, you morons. It wouldn't just put a bullet through his ear. It would have obliterated it. It's just like the bullet went through Charlie Kirk. If it was stopped by his bones, his head wouldn't be there. You goddamn morons fall for this shit every time. Ugh. I get tired of seeing this shit. See, I'm not on the right and left. I don't give a fuck about either side. They're both puppets of the same. It's one party and you're both being played. Democrat left and the right are being played against each other. They are falling for this shit. BLM was a CIA op. Antifa, CIA op. The whole George Floyd thing. Democrats were told to release violent criminals back on the street. They flooded. CIA floods all drugs into America through Mexico, you idiot. They get the cocaine from Ecuador and the fentanyl from Afghanistan. And that's why George Floyd died. They sacrificed him and they pushed out the BLM lie. Oh my God. Because they wanted to fuck things up. That's why. Because these fuckers are bored, rich assholes who like to screw with all of you. They turned you against each other to the point you can't even see you're being used. You fucking morons fell for it so hard. The communists, the leftists, oh my God, police brutality. That you didn't see how they were doing it. They set you up so hard. The right and left hate each other and they can't even see they've been played. Trump's a puppet. He learned his fucking lesson to sit there and do what they say and don't speak until they tell you. Palantir runs your government. That's why they tried to discredit Whitney Webb when she told them. They killed Jeffrey Epstein to show anyone else we can do what we want. They violate legal law all the time. International law, they don't give a flying fuck. You understand? This Maduro thing and idiots going, yeah, we got this commie. You are dumb as shit. They had no legal recourse to do this. They had to violate every symptom of law. And now they're making up a bunch of bogus charges so they can put Maduro in prison. They did a coup, pure and simple. If you think that's acceptable, you are as dumb as you look. I'm not going to sit there and hold your hand and go, you're good people. If you actually thought, and I saw, and I'll say right now, I saw actual Justice Warrior's headline of his video. Go look at it. Trump got that commie loser. First of all, Maduro was a socialist, not a communist. And his entire commie class because we put an embargo and crashed their economy. Shut the fuck up. China's not even a real communist country because communist countries like the Soviet Union, the first true communist country, do not hold fucking elections, you goddamn morons. You have no rights in fucking Russia. You can't travel where you want to. You are forbidden to speak ill of the government. Authoritarianism is a form of communism, where the government restricts your right to say whatever and they'll lock you in prison if you criticize them. Just look at England. They're pretty much becoming a communist authority. They're a very authoritarian country. In China, what makes them authoritarian? You can't be openly gay. You can't criticize the government. And the government owns everything. But other than that, you can be a billionaire. As long as you do what the government says, you are allowed to be a billionaire. In China, that's what's called using capitalism to benefit yourself, and they do, to a point, take care of their people by using the oil that they get, the extra oil and other resources from Russia to sell on the market, like India does. But unlike India, the poor people in India do not benefit from the wealth that the government. That is a true communist. Dystopia is that because they have a caste system, it is pretty much communism at its worst. The poor remain poor forever. Even if you're born in poverty, you can never become wealthy. If you're at the top, you succeed while the poor remain poor. That's the problem I have with India. Not the people, the government. One of my caregiver, who is from Russia and was born in the Soviet Union, told me she talks to her friends who live in Russia. She said it's not actually better in Russia. They still don't let you travel where you want. They still have a lot of poverty. Even Putin acknowledges it's almost like it's still Soviet Union without the word Soviet Union. It's very authoritarian. That's what I hate. I hate the idea that the authoritarianism that leads to communism, that leads to fascism, When you can be locked up for what you say, go look at what they're doing to Richard Medhurst. All because he, as a journalist, he dared criticize, say the things against Israel. And this is where Zionism comes in. If you can be arrested, I'm not talking about protesting and all that shit, like the Free Palestine. I don't care about that stuff. But if you say the wrong thing about Israel, you can be locked up. Even as a journalist, that is wrong on all fucking levels. I'm half Jewish, people, so I don't like Israel. I'll never support that place because I don't like anything they do. I know they're committing genocide. I'll say it right now. Ooh, punish me for that. And they're still committing it for all the Trump supporters. There's no peace in the, hey, give that man a Nobel Peace Prize. What, for the genocide he's still allowing to happen? Oh, that's right, for not ending the war in Ukraine, which he can't. Or the violent kidnapping of Maduro. Whoa, the man of peace and no wars is stealing the oil to start a war with China. Morons. The whole indictment is a joke. And they know it's a joke because if it were fucking legal, they would have gone to the UN and presented their bullshit case. Which, by the way, it's funny how they didn't ever do that. So tell me, if the indictments, why did they say they had a warrant, yet they didn't follow international law. They didn't go to the UN and present this. Even Bibi, that douchey motherfucker, went for the UN and told them why they're doing what they're doing to the Palestinians. Trump doesn't go in front of the UN. He doesn't recognize the UN at all. This government doesn't give two shit for what that said. They do what they want, and who's going to stop them? They overthrew Assad and destroyed Syria, and boom, no punishment, no consequence. They invade Iraq, no consequence. Afghanistan, no consequence. They killed Gaddafi, no consequence. No consequence for violating international law. Rules-based order has been horseshit forever. And all these people are like, Trump, we love you. This fucker wants to talk about this country wants to talk about we believe in the sanctity of America, but we'll overthrow your government, we'll steal your shit. Yeah, so much for that fucking America's the greatest country in the world. We've been so fucking brainwashed and lied to. I love this country. I hate my government. I hate the evil this government does. And all the idiots that go, America's the greatest country and Trump's the greatest president, then you are so fucking dumb. And I do mean stupid. If you have to go behind everyone's back, CIA, and do a coup the way they did it and kidnap someone and bring him back here to claim he's violated some bullshit laws, which they never had the authority to do, and by not going to the UN and presenting their bullshit case means their case is crap to begin with. But knowing how corrupt our court system is, they know they'll get a conviction. And the idiots will go, yeah, all the Trump people who are mad at the courts for going after Donald Trump will now praise the courts. All the same idiots who get mad because the courts stopped Trump from removing people from America will now praise the same fucking douchey courts that say, oh, Maduro's guilty and put him in prison. This is the clown world we live in. And they'll continue. Oh, and by the way, you think China's sitting by? Oh, they're waiting. They know the war is coming. They're preparing for it. And when they know, and they'll know before even America starts heading off, they'll start what they're going to do. They'll start the war. And it will be Japan, Philippines, and Taiwan, China that pays. North Korea will take out South Korea. I'll tell you how this might actually go down when the war starts. And America will be nowhere near there. As far as their military, what isn't already over there, their military base in the Philippines will be wiped off the fucking planet. The ones in Japan, gone. South Korea, they'll be taken out by North Korea. And then Taiwan, China, the military base there, and that fake Japanese, the government there that is a bunch of Japanese people impersonating Chinese people, will be gone. It'll be the end. And then they'll take Taiwan, they'll prepare. And they'll take their missiles and they'll fucking aim them right at the American military that they'll see coming, and they'll start launching missiles, sinking the military before they can even get to fucking China. You put an embargo on them, they'll sink that shit quickly. And the world will find out that China isn't fucking around. And when they're doing fucking around with Russia, Russia will have enough of that shit, and maybe they'll launch, and maybe North Korea will launch their hypersonic missiles and hit American targets, like your cities, which they can do, and you can't stop. Are you going to start listening, people? Your country's going to start a war that will end you. Maybe America needs to have a fucking ass whooping in a way that where it actually hits them here to finally realize you fucking morons aren't ready for anything. The wars fought over in Vietnam, North and Korea and everywhere else, you never feel the consequences. So you go fight them over there. So this war will come to you. It won't be China or Russia or North Korea invading you. It won't be missiles shot at you can't stop. The same things that you watch Russia launch into Ukraine will be launched at you. And these are fucking intercontinental hypersonic ballistic missiles. They can put tactical warheads on. They don't need to hit you and blow up, detonate a nuke. They can poison your ground, irradiate it, so nothing can grow. This is how they can make you suffer. And when they're done, America will look like a pile of shit. And then the world will finally realize America was the threat the whole time. If they do this, and this is the arrogance of this fucking moron and the CIA, they have never faced consequences that they could. I'm saying this, I'm not saying this might have, I'm saying this, it's inevitable that when this war between China begins, they're going to fucking destroy you in a way you're not ready for. These missiles they have from Russia are so fucking strategically hard to stop because they move so fast. Not even the satellites and Starlink can stop them. This is why when the U.S. was watching for Starlink, when these hypersonic missiles hit Ukraine, they watched it in horror as the fucking newest one, Shrek, just left nothing standing. They could do nothing to stop them. This isn't like a nuke that they could use a satellite to maybe knock down. No, hypersonic missiles are so fucking fast, there's no way. And America's military already said, we don't have the capability to stop them. You're fucked. You're fucked. We're all fucked. This is a country, these two countries you put together, three of them, those three countries who now have nukes, thanks to Russia. They have hypersonic missiles, thanks to Russia, thanks to America pushing Russia and China together. Instead of working with these countries, we have created a situation we can't win. You will never win a war against Russia. This is why the Nazis failed. Russia's a patient country, and I would tell Putin to hurry up and end the war in Ukraine and take it all so you can prepare what's coming next. Because they're going to take Greenland, and then they're going to start seizing and trying to stop your shipping. And when are you going to start realizing Trump is not your friend, Putin? You keep praising, maybe you're doing exactly what we do, which is deception. You know that Trump is a piece of shit. But you lie because you want to deceive. You're pulling deception. Okay, bravo. Same with China. They're downplaying everything. Was China getting their oil mainly from? No, they weren't. They mainly get it from Russia. They got some, but the thing was, they're not really worried about Venezuela. China knows the war's coming. See, we're a long ways from China. And China has been building its military up. Russia has been building their submarine program. Poseidon is Russia's most advanced nuclear sub where they set that thing at the bottom. It can go very deep. It has nukes on it. These nukes can be launched while it sits at the bottom of the sea and hit the target. They don't have to go to the surface anymore. This sub is so advanced, you can't detect it. When it comes to the surface, they see it. They don't see it when it's gone. And they can't detect it. No submarine can see it until it's right there. It's so advanced. This thing can sit down in the ocean and launch these nukes from there, and you wouldn't even know they launched the nuke until it's too late. This means they could have this submarine sitting off the coast of fucking DC and way down where no one knows it's there, and they could then strategically launch nukes at strike you first, killing Americans. I'm saying this is the scary thing about Poseidon. No one knows Russia knows where it is, but no one else knows where the fuck it is. And they, at one point, had it sitting off the coast of the UK, and UK didn't even realize it. They had a similar sub. Not Poseidon, but a different one. Similar. Literally, sitting off the coast of fucking the UK years ago. And the UK didn't even realize it for a long time that there was a Russian sub sitting right off their fucking coast. Far enough off. And they didn't even realize that it was sitting there. Till it surfaced. And they let them know they were there. Yeah. I do believe I actually remember that happening. I could be, but I think I read something about that. But this is what's dangerous. You're playing a game against a country that builds new weapons to kill. While you're fucking around trying to find a way to stop Russia and China, Russia's building, they're not building frigates anymore. They're not building aircraft carriers. No, they're building new, more powerful subs that can kill you from below. That can, they have torpedoes. They have the type of torpedoes that would blow your ships up without you even knowing. Before you could, oh my God, boom. This is the type of strategic warfare that Russia's playing. Their planes, they keep them out close to home, further in, where it's hard to hit them. But their subs, they're everywhere. You don't even know it. That's why I said, you're playing a game you can't win. And China, they're preparing for war. They have these hypersonic missiles they have aimed at American military bases in the Philippines, Japan, Taiwan, China, and North Korea has those aimed at South Korea. And other military bases in Fiji and other places. Yes, you morons who are America's allies, that you have an American military base, China's aiming these very missiles. They've actually strategically moved them and aimed them right at every American military base in the South Pacific that is the threat to China. They will literally blow your bases off the planet. When they know the war is going to begin, you'll see what happens. They'll take Taiwan to set it off. They want this. They are going to take Taiwan by force, and there's nothing Japan can do. They don't have the military, and if they have to, they'll just blow up that American military base. Maybe they blow up one of their nuclear power plants. Japan is a country that could be destroyed by China without even landing one boat on their islands. All you have to do is destroy Tokyo, and Japan collapses. Blow up their fucking American military bases, and they have no way to defend themselves. And their nuclear power plants would be easy to take out. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying that's the problem when you're facing a country preparing for war, as China is, and they know they are. That's why they've been building up everything. Their submarine, they're fucking buying more and more hypersonic missiles and other things from Russia that they keep building to prepare for the war to come. And as they see America's fleet coming, they'll launch those missiles and blow it up and sink it in the ocean. And then you'll have Poseidon there to sink the rest of the shit. And when the Americans think they have a war, they're going to lose before they even get to China. Because there won't be an American military base to threaten China. That'll be the first thing they do. That's what I would do. If I were China, I'd move, and America not even paying attention that China literally has been moving things in place to, when the war begins, to blow up every one of your military bases. And you can't stop them. North Korea's already said they'd take South Korea out. And Japan, and they'll take Taiwan back. And why you fucking send your military over? They'll sink that shit. And what are you going to do then, America? You're having trouble building boats. Oh, you stole the oil from Venezuela. Good luck with that. You've been having trouble building any military force up. Plus, under what happened with under the Biden administration, you fucked up. So, yeah, how are you going to win a war against China? Then you think you're going to take the Russians on. Russians are decimating Ukraine. Yes, they're being attacked by Ukraine, but they have not won. Soon Ukraine will be all of Russia's. And Europe will find out there's no way to beat Russia. Because Russia's one thing, they build their missiles up, they build their weapons up. You can do, and they'll hit you. And they could literally get rid of England by destroying London. That would be the end of the UK. And with Germany, take out Berlin. Boom. Yes. Every country has a weakness that can strategically collapse their country. And you want to know what countries like China, Russia, North Korea do? They've studied you. Yes. The one thing about people who know that war is coming, they strategically look at weaknesses, vulnerabilities. Where's the place to destroy that would take the American empire, America down, collapse it? They already know where that is. And they would hit every one of them. In England, in the UK, it's fucking London. Destroy London, you collapse the entire goddamn continent. I mean, the whole country. You just have to look for where is the strategic weakness of every country. Without that, if that goes bye-bye, you fall. You collapse. That's all it takes. So, see, America doesn't think about this. They think, the CIA thinks they're smart. They're not really, see, they took out Maduro. Okay, you took their oil. You violated international law. But you know, China and Russia aren't worried about that. China didn't get most of the oil from fucking Venezuela to begin with. They get it from Russia. All you showed the world was your bullies. And the people think this is acceptable. Means, guess what, people? If a country wanted to get their hands on Trump, they could do it and put him on trial. And there's nothing you can do. So when China takes Taiwan, America has no leg to stand on. Takes Taiwan back under their control. And by the way, most of the people of Taiwan, China want to rejoin mainland China. The only people that don't are the Japanese pretend to be Chinese that illegally control the country. It's not even a country. It's part of China, as everyone in the UN already said. Even America acknowledged Taiwan as part of China. So this propaganda shit that Taiwan's a country is just like saying Tibet was always a region in China. It was not a country. God. But this is the world we live in. Both sides they're just manipulated. CIA knows how to turn you against each other. They play you. And here's the thing. I'll go back to the CIA. After they committed to the lie about 9/11, about Saddam Hussein to invade, they did 9/11 with Israel's and Mossad's help. The Israeli intelligence helped them. Why? So they could take Saddam, so they can start the overturn of all the countries in the Arab world who weren't aligned with Israel. So they invaded Iraq under lies. They got rid of Saddam Hussein. They already had Jordan because they have a British man pretending to be the king of Jordan. The only one they don't have yet is Lebanon. No, they have the government. They just don't know how to get rid of Hezbollah. They did weaken it. Hezbollah is not what it is now, what it once was, but it's still there. And Hamas, they'll be gone. The Palestinians will be gone. Now they're going to get rid of the Iranian government. And that means the Belt and Road Initiative is dead. Exactly what their whole plan was. Crush it. They're trying to cripple China. Then Osama bin Laden, who was doing the U.S.'s bidding by pretending to be the ones who did 9/11. Do you ever wonder why no more attacks? Because he was paid to do it. That's why Hillary knew who he was. He'd come to America and his family were close to were working with the United States government. We know this because after everything that happened, when 9/11 happened, Osama bin Laden went on TV and lied to the world and says, yes, we did this, even though it wasn't true. The CIA did it. They deceived you. Then and then Pat Tillman left the NFL to join his brother fight, and they went to Afghanistan. Where was Osama bin Laden? He was in a cave, right? That's what we were told in Tora Bora. And you know who caught him? It wasn't U.S. He suddenly wasn't there because Iran caught him. How do we know this? There's a call between Joe Biden's brother, the lawyer, and the Iranian government, telling them we'll hand him. Oh yeah, in the conversation, the Iranian government promised to hand him over in Pakistan. Of course, that didn't go down. Nope, they put and that wasn't Osama bin Laden. And that's why Hillary's like, oh my God. The real Osama bin Laden was still in Iran. They had lied to the U.S. government. They deceived them. This is why they dumped the body in the Indian Ocean. Because if they brought him back, people would go, that's not Osama bin Laden. And he wasn't sickly or anything. That was a body double. That's why his wife in Farsi, I'm pretty sure it said, that's not my husband. Now what happens next? One member of Team SEAL 6 says, yeah, we got him. He's the only one still alive. The rest of them went home. And as one father said, he asked his son what was wrong. He knew something was off. He said, I can't tell you. Which means he couldn't tell them that they didn't get Osama bin Laden. They were worried they would talk. Oh, and this leads to the embassy. Okay. The same rest of the team, except for the one man who told everybody, we got Osama bin Laden, were sent back on a much bigger helicopter. And the helicopter didn't land. It was wanting them to repel. What happened, a rocket launcher was used to hit the helicopter, killing them. Your government murdered the CIA had the rest of Team SEAL 6 killed because they were worried they might reveal the lie. And it turns out it was a package of rocket launchers that then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton sold to Al-Qaeda. And here's where the ambassador's murder comes in. The receipt was in the embassy. Now, they wanted to blame Iran for this. No, Iran had nothing to do with it. It was Al-Qaeda that attacked. And they killed the ambassador, who, remember, they were touting him as, Obama and Hillary Clinton. Why did they kill the ambassador to Libya? Because they want to get rid of Gaddafi. Why? Because, remember, Gaddafi was our ally. We were friends. That's what Hillary Clinton said to his son and him. While we planned to kill him the whole time. Illegally, of course. Just like when the CIA had an American they claimed was a terrorist without due process murdered him with a drone. The Arab Spring was a complete CIA psyop. So they could murder Gaddafi because Gaddafi had told Africa we should have worked together to create our own currency and sell our stuff rather than let the West control our system. Yes, we should be able to sell our... And this is a man who created a garden in a desert. Yes, that Gaddafi was a way more mellow man than when he was younger. So what did they do? They assassinated him. And they had him sodomized. They violated him after he was dead. And Obama didn't get congressional. He didn't go to the UN. He just did it. No consequences. Now Libya has slavery. And it's a country that is never recovered. And we steal their oil. Yes. And then yes. And how do we know that? Yeah, like I said, you know all that money, that pallets of money that Obama was giving to Iran? That was their money they were owed for helping with, I don't know what, but they blackmailed the USA. They knew that they had not gotten Osama bin Laden because they had him. And they also knew that they had murdered their own team. They had murdered Team SEAL 6. All of it could have been exposed. So that's why they made the deal to give them all that money. It all makes sense when you think about it. This is what the CIA does. They fucked up. Iran knew this, and they got their money. So they've never been happy with what happened. That's why they wanted to get rid of this government, because they were outsmarted. So they did a terrorist attack on Iran, and Iran foolishly reacted. Instead of with calm, they lost their minds and they attacked Israel. They attacked Qatar. So now we have to get rid of them. They're a threat to everyone. Even though we actually attacked under Trump, attacked Qatar, it was acceptable because the Qatari government allowed it to happen. Yes. We can't have, we got rid of the leader, we got rid of Hamas. Yes. And Qatar let it happen. Now, of course, they feigned outrage. But, yes. Oh, and reason and India might want to think about this. Why did the U.S. government not allow India to retaliate after the 2001 Mumbai hotel terrorist attack by Pakistan? And why did they go the different route, like in that movie, Do Ron Har? Because America controls the terrorists in Pakistan. Yes, we funded them. We wanted them to attack India. And then we told India they couldn't physically retaliate. Because we control both countries. We create the terrorists. We control them. We use them. Just like the Afghani nationalist who killed one National Guard. How did he get from Washington State to D.C. and get a weapon? I would look at it as the CIA set this up. Yep. Sounds like a CIA psyop. Just like those two people killed out the Israeli embassy in D.C. was definitely a CIA op. That guy was definitely, was definitely. This is before Charlie Kirk. So yeah, that was clearly the CIA behind it. They wanted to effectively make, and the pro-Palestinian movement hasn't helped itself to celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination and other things and showing violence themselves and supporting Hamas and other terrorist organizations. But yeah. So that I leave up to show you your CIA is evil as shit. This is what they do. This is what our government, this is your real government. This is what the CIA does. Maduro is just another casualty of the CIA war to think they can control the world and they can't. Hell, they created AI and the world's fallen for it. But as far as war with China, I wouldn't do it. But I'm not stupid to think we can. It's not about winning war. It's about starting wars, making money off war. This is what this is really about. Like Russia with Ukraine. If they wanted to end it, they could end it and seize all of Ukraine. But they like to make weapons and show them off. Unfortunately, it's costing Russia. Venezuela, yeah. That is Al Jazeera's right. It's not the drug trafficking bullshit, which was never true to begin with. Brian Elected pointed out the DEA, they actually even said there are no drugs flowing through under Maduro or even Hugo Chavez. Nope. And Triago, the gang of Venezuela, is run by the CIA like the gangs of El Salvador. Like MS-13. That's why they're here working with the U.S. and lying about people like Abrego Garcia. Pam Bonnie's indictment is such a flimsy shit. She literally used the Jeffrey Epstein playbook on this man that never once accused of trafficking anyone, being a drug trafficker, or any of those things. They never found he committed one crime coming here. That's why, there aren't justice cleared him of any wrongdoing. Pam Bondi comes up and Skank Ho says, he's a sex trafficking. This is basically the same shit she said about Jeffrey Epstein. God, this woman loves to lie her ass off. I consider Pam Bondi the Skank Ho of Florida. There hasn't been, this woman, I've despised this fucking woman. She's like a fucking former stripper who they said, you know how the law. It's like fucking Kim Kardashian. This woman wouldn't know what the law was if you fucking slapped her ass. Ugh. Holy crap, this woman's dumb. Every time she opens her mouth, she sounds as stupid as Donald Trump. I get why people don't like Donald Trump. He makes it really easy to just go, shut the fuck up. And then when he lies, you look at him, he's reading a piece of paper. Remember when he was making fun of Biden and Obama for reading it from a teleprompter? Then it's funny how often he uses teleprompter. Or he's reading off a piece of paper which was a speech written by the CIA. So he doesn't even look up. He just reads from the pre-written script. Yeah, Kind of can't believe the horse shit when he's fucking got the paper to look at and he's not looking up looking at you. He's looking down, reading off the paper, the entire bunch of bullshit pre-written. Remember when people criticized Obama for this shit? Hey, morons, are you going to call that shit out? Of course not. Yep. We live in a country of dumb people who blindly turn and go, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. We got that Somali fraud to deal with. That's what they want you. And then they kidnap Maduro and you're like, people go, well, that's okay. We can kidnap people now. That's okay. Rules-based law, that's actually quite illegal. And like Robert Warren said, if this was perfectly on the level legal, why didn't they go to UN and present their case? Because it isn't. This just means now anybody who wants to kidnap Donald Trump and put him on trial, or anybody in this administration, they now have the legal recourse to do it. That means if Trump travels, he could literally be abducted. And it would not be, and I'm not saying don't do it, but a country could do it. And then take him to their country and literally put him on trial for this, make up some shit. Not really even have to do that. Literally abduct his ass and put him on trial. For the world to see, these are the charges, da-da-da, and then boom. Find him guilty and put him in prison. And the U.S. could do nothing about it. And if they did, then they prove what hypocrites they are. See, that's why when China takes Taiwan, they're going to lie and say, but you can't do that. Actually, we can. You did it to Maduro. And they have no leg to stand on. But they'll try to bellyache and say, well, it's wrong. You're violating international law by seizing Taiwan. Motherfuckers, you invaded Venezuela to kidnap Maduro. Shut the fuck up. Oh, this is why I despise this government. I despise morons who dance and just fucking go along with whatever Trump says. Question nothing, just, when they say, just consume content, don't question anything. This is the same thing when your government tells you horse shit. Go along with it. It's, and they say, oh, this is great. Really? Oh, the media, whether it's the right-leaning fucking douchey media or the left or idiots on Twitter, YouTube, whatever, if they're telling you this was a great move, they are fucking morons. So America's now a bunch of pirates, kidnappers, human traffickers. Yep. We sell people to other countries. This is the CIA, but hey, Trump will take credit for it because he's the dumb motherfucker who will sit there and go, yeah, we now invade countries and kidnap leaders. Even though the CIA did this one. Yeah, this was never about Maduro breaking the law or drug trafficking. It's because it's about fucking oil so they can go to war. Hey, Trump supporters. Yeah, give Trump that Nobel Peace Prize for starting a war with China, for the war in Ukraine that he'll never end. Oh, wonder how well that's working for their overthrow of countries like Venezuela, Iran, Syria. Hope you're getting the big picture, morons. Wake up and stop believing this man gives a fuck about you. He's a puppet of the CIA and he's doing exactly what they want. Just like Obama. Your government is compromised by the CIA. They are the deep state, and none of these fucking retards do anything about it. And of course, Thomas Massie will come out and condemn it. Of course he will. He wants to look like he's standing up to Trump. He has to look like he's standing up to Trump. Like others, you have to look like you're standing opposed to him because you want to look like you're not part of the same problem. These are the same people who never said shit. Some of these people never said shit when they killed Gaddafi. Oh, they just sat there, Democrats and Republicans, and clapped for it. Yep, like the invasion of Iraq. Ron Paul was the only one of the few that actually outright condemned the invasion of Iraq, and they hate him for it. Unlike his son, who will just pretend to be opposed to shit and then go along with it. Because, we have to do this. That's why politicians are fraudulent fucking assholes. Keep looking at that. This is essentially what your CIA does. And now you have digital ID. Yes. So this is just how they destroyed Venezuela's economy. Not being socialist, this right here. For John Stolz and the rest of the morons, this AI tells more of a true picture of fucking how they destroyed Venezuela, what destroyed their economy and everything, than anything you idiots defending capitalism. The CIA destroys economies, not in the way the Soviet Union collapsed. We put Boris Yeltsin in, and then George Soros, and fucking the CIA collapsed Russia's economy. Thousands died. Boris Yeltsin handed the country to Putin, and over time, look at where it's come. It's not perfect, but it's far better than it was. This is what we do. We put dictators in, and then we sit back and go, we're the greatest country. And I go, you really are not paying attention. Castro was our ally until he was like, talk to Russia, and then it was, oh, he's our enemy. Thank God for JFK not listening to the CIA and actually talking to Khrushchev that he ended a possible war. Thank God he had the brains enough to fucking realize this was a stupid move to start a war with Russia or Cuba. And what gets him killed? Wanting to reveal the illegal actions in Vietnam by the CIA. Yep, they killed him. The CIA had him assassinated. Bullet to the front in the throat, that's why he leaned forward. Bullet to his head, that's why his head went back. Oswald didn't kill JFK, and Jack Ruby was a Mossad agent. Just like all other political assassinations, or in the case of anybody who dared try to take Hillary and Bill Clinton down gets assassinated, all done by the CIA. That's right. Charlie Kirk, all the MAGA say, everybody over here says, a political assassination, then you can point the finger at the man sitting in the White House who sat there and watched as they gave the order to kill him in public in front of the world. Why? Because how dare you think you can't do what we want? You think you can stand up and say not support Israel? Then we'll either put you in prison or we'll kill you. That's why they killed Charlie Kirk. To send a message. People like him, don't you dare ever think you can criticize Israel. Are you looking? Are you getting it? You people are fucking stupid to think a 20-year-old somebody on a roof that you see clearly. If you saw him, he ain't the assassin. When they show you it, it's because that's what they want you to see. Look over here. You can't see the real assassin. Just like the attempt on Trump's life. The idiot on the roof didn't do it because when you saw the picture of the bullet, that was about that's a high power fucking caliber bullet with enough energy that if it hit Trump in the ear, his ear would have been fucking obliterated. Don't take my word for it. Ask anybody who knows about high power ammunition what it would do if you hit the ear. It would have been blown the fuck off. He wouldn't have an ear. It wouldn't put a hole through his ear. It would have blown it off because that's the type of thing that if it hits it, would have. If it hit his ear would have fucking been like gone. Because the kinetic energy of something like that hits flesh, it tears it apart. And if it went like this, it would have hit. It would have done more than just hit his ear. It would have went and blown the shit out of it. It would have been blood everywhere. Yeah, Trump wouldn't have had a little, what looked like wiped on ketchup or whatever on his cheek. That's why people claim to know anything about guns and ammunition have never studied. What high-power ammunition does, it's shot at flesh. It's not pretty to look at. It will, yeah. Maybe talk to somebody who knows this shit. If you shot that type of bullet at an ear, what would it do? Would it just put a hole through it? Or did it do much more damage? Because the energy released, as if it hits something, it goes through. And if it's hitting something like that, it's going to take a lot of damage. Yeah. If you shot a bullet, let's say this is Trump's ear. Let's say, okay, and the bullet goes like this. It's going to take the finger, that part of the finger that it hits. So the ear's like this. This is a hard target to begin with. This is a hard target to hit. But you can shoot a bullet next to his head and make it look like, oh my God, we tried to take him without ever actually hitting him. That was the whole point. To stage it, to look like, oh my God, someone's trying to kill Trump. You pathetic idiots fell for that shit so quickly. You basically were dumb. Like prosecuting Trump for what? For what? Having for a non-disclosure agreement for a loan? The stupidest shit to put a guy on trial. And that was all to get people go, oh my God, they're coming using lawfare. I heard all the dumbasses fall for that shit. And I was like, wow, you really fall for the CIA fucking psyop. It was so blatantly stupid. People were like, yeah, you fell for it. They staged it to get, victim. Oh, look, dumb people would go, poor Trump. Poor Donald Trump. They're trying to put him in prison. For what? Having an affair? Whip-de-doo. Sign a non-disclosure agreement. Not a hush money thing from, not illegal. Paying a bank a loan back for fucking is not a crime. And the lawsuit against him wasn't even a fucking crime because the fucking jury couldn't even find that he had raped her. They literally had to come back, he touched her. That's it. That's all they got him for. And yeah, then you have all the idiots out there going, oh my God, there's so many felonies. What felonies? They had to violate the law. Even Jonathan Turley said, God, this isn't even illegal what Trump did. But people are dumb. Dumb. Both sides were stupid on this. Some people fall for all types of stupid things. And it doesn't take much to manipulate people. Yeah. CIA does it all the time. So Maduro being kidnapped and taken to New York was so illegal, they didn't even go to the UN to present it. See, if you want to do something, what you're supposed to do, CIA, you should know this. Present your fake case to the UN, and even if they don't go along with it, like the invasion of Iraq, you dumbasses, at least you presented a fake case before you did the invasion. You didn't even do it here. You just did this fucking illegal action, then try to lie to the public, and dumbasses fell for it. That's why it's not legal. But your corrupt courts will somehow, without any actual evidence, because they'll present no evidence at this trial, and guarantee there will be no cameras, there'll be no media allowed in there, it will be so behind closed doors, the rendering of the verdict will be a joke. If they find him guilty, it'll be that there was no evidence for it, but just like with the fucking, OJ civil lawsuit that was a clown show on top of fucking dumb. Just like the California, the woman suing him for the Playboy Mansion, even though she lied 3 times. Yeah. People, you're getting played. But you're dumb to believe, oh my God. Yeah. People are stupid. And they're easy to manipulate. And that's how the CIA does things. Yeah. See, I'm not right, I'm not left. I'm literally someone watching from the outside, and I go, yeah, I see the bullshit. I don't support communism, socialism. But I also don't support Donald Trump, because when I see him do shit like this is why I don't support him. I don't. When this government does shit like this, I go, yeah, I hate my government. Because they can no longer hold their head up to say, yeah, we have the right to do what we want. They break the law, and then idiots have such short-term, they just go, yeah, America's the greatest country. In what way? How many laws have we broken over the years to fucking commit crimes? Killing Gaddafi, was that legal? Nope. Soleimani was an illegal action by Donald Trump. And he didn't even pull the thing. He was literally texting with the guy. And Soleimani was in Iraq on peace negotiations between Iran and Saudi Arabia when Trump had him, when he was standing there and the CIA used a drone to kill his ass, and Trump bragged about it. When Israel commits terrorist attacks, the U.S. defends it. And Iran tells Iran, you can't do anything about it. We are the fucking joke of the world. We are the terrorists of the world. We create the terrorists. That's the CIA. And CIA is your government, idiots. And you fall for it and you go, well, Maduro. And you believe the lies. You don't even research this shit. You just go along with it. Oh, he was a communist. Shut the fuck up. This is why you're brain dead morons. Why you're not smart enough to fucking figure out when you're being played. I don't care if people like me or not. I'm not your fucking friend. I'm not going to suck your dick and tell you how much I appreciate you. I'll tell you exactly what I think of you. When you fucking sit here and you suck Trump's dick and you think, oh, and you don't question this bullshit, then you are a moron. And I know people are going to go, oh my God, I don't like what he says. I don't play politics with people. I just tell you where things are and how stupid you are. Brian Berletic does the same thing. And he lives in Thailand. He was in the U.S. Marines. Yes. He shows you this stuff. People should watch his videos. He shows you the stuff I can't. I try to find. I can't because I live in the United States and they keep it from us. Yeah. I watched the Duran because they also say the same thing. They've talked about this shit for years, that the U.S. was going to overthrow Maduro and then lie about it. Smart people. And by the way, you don't have to like China's government to support the people of China. If I had the money, I would visit China. Hell, I'd visit Japan. But what I'm not going to support is our government doing what they did to Maduro for no reason, other than to steal the fucking oil thing, go to war with China. So all the MAGA putting people there saying, oh, good, you got rid of a commie. Hope you enjoy the war coming, that you're going to get your asses handed to you, because China knows it's coming. They've been preparing for this war. That's why they've got the missiles from Russia to take out the military bases. And when they're fucking sending their shit over, they're going to sink that shit, and then America will lose their entire military fleet. They're going to have it fucking ready to hit every base that they can aim these missiles at. They're already aimed at, and they're going to strategically blow them off the planet. So all those military bases in the South Pacific and over near that are American bases aimed at China, when this war kicks off, they won't be there, because China will launch missiles at them. And then they'll be ready for the fleet, and it'll be the end of the U.S. military, because they'll sink all that shit. You won't even make it to China. They'll launch at your military bases and take them out, sinking and destroying your bases. So you won't even have a military to take China. They'll kill those Americans you have, military men that you have inside China will be dead. They know where they are. And then when you send your fleet, they're going to sink it. And they're going to decimate it. And then you'll have, and North Korea will take out South Korea. And then what are you going to do, Trump? You'll have not a fleet to fight China. How are you going to fight Russia when your military is fucking at the bottom of the Pacific? That's exactly what will happen. Anybody looking at this knows the moment you attempt to send your fleet in, China will fucking sink it. Because they have the missiles to do it. It's called hypersonic missiles. You can't stop. And then you don't know where Poseidon is. The most advanced sub in the fucking world. That's what Russia's been building. Poseidon subs. They have the most advanced subs in the world. You don't know where the fuck they are. And these things carry nukes that they can launch while they're underwater. And they're not detectable by your fucking current sonar system. Psh. That's why when it showed up, when I think it was Poseidon showed up off the coast of Cuba, it shocked the United States. Or one of their subs did. They were shocked. Yeah. You're going into a war you can't win. You may have the more advanced weaponry as far as that, but they have the missiles to destroy that weaponry. You can't build new ships. You don't have, your military has been, you haven't been building anything new. And other people have pointed this out. You're having trouble building new ships and everything. While Russia basically isn't building aircraft carriers, they're building subs. China's been building their fleet up. Not to the level we have. They don't need that. They have the missiles to hit you and sink your shit in the Pacific. Yeah, so go. That's why they're taking the oil and the precious rare earth minerals and everything, because war, that's all you will have. These same missiles that Russia has, they're using in Ukraine, that they could literally hit your country with from Russia. Hypersonic intercontinental ballistic missiles are so fast you can't stop them. You also have these, I've said before, China and North Korea. And the reason North Korea has these same weapons is because they helped Russia repel the Ukrainian invasion in Kerch. Yes, the North Korean army helped Russia inside their country repel and defeat the Ukraine invasion. That's why Russia did this. And China was fine with it because they're all on the same page. They're looking out for themselves. They're trying to tell other countries to stop thinking that America has your back. Japan, their new prime minister is so dumb. She actually is antagonizing China. They're like, okay, we're not going to fucking go to your country. Your economy is collapsing. Your population is dying. You're old. And we're not going to buy your fish. And now we're banning your anime and manga from our country. We're over a billion people. And we're also banning fucking a Supergirl movie nobody wants to watch. But we'll watch Zootopia and make $1 billion off that movie. Well, we have the #1 movie in the world. We didn't have to release in America. Understand what that means. If Hollywood wants to do well, they better figure out how to appease the Chinese market. Because if you don't, you're going to fucking collapse. And streaming won't save Netflix. It won't save them on the streaming. They need movie theaters. They need to get movies into China. They need, you guys, all you idiots don't understand. China's a very valuable market. Yes, they keep a lot of the money, but you want to make movies what everybody wants to see. Not just Americans, because a lot of Americans aren't going to movies. So you have to look outside America, to Korea, to India, to China, to other countries, like India does. That's the only way you're going to actually have a thriving fucking market. You have to look outside the American market. Because Americans aren't going to Europe. They're seeing crappy movies. They're not even spending the money like China does. You may not like the Chinese government, but that's a massive market and you can kiss my ass. If you think, oh, you don't need China, then China don't need you. China doesn't need you Americans. They don't. You need them. Because you can't make anything, idiots. You can't make your own smartphones. You can't make your own TVs. You could not reindustrialize for at least, 50 or 60 years, maybe? You don't have the ability to do your own shit. Eric July's doing successful, but he has his comics, I think, printed elsewhere. America isn't an industrialized country. We are an importer, not an exporter. We don't export anything but suffering to the world. We don't bring hope. We bring suffering. That's our government. And you've lost smart people back to China because you went after the Asians. You pissed them off. You said, fuck China. Well, China's smart enough to know, you don't want us here, we'll go back and we'll take our intelligence with us. So the smart Asians have left. And now you have a problem. You can't do the things you used to do. You can't make your Xboxes because you don't have these smart people here to put together. You send it to China. You may send it to India. Indians can't do certain things, but China can. And they can put them together cheap. And then the companies will charge you whatever they want. While this stuff was cheap to make, they'll gouge you on the price. That's capitalism. Ah, my. Yeah. So your country likes to do things like this all the time. The CIA does it. They run your government. They're called Palantir. And they already have their super duper Skynet. Like I said before, pay attention. Iran was attacked and and no one knew the attack was coming because Skynet shut down the internet globally in every country and the satellites. And they watched they watched. The CIA and Trump watched this attack happen. I don't think Trump was president. I don't know if he was, but when they did this terrorist attack, when Israel did, the CIA was watching. And they were proud of what happened. They sent a message to Iran, we can do this and you can't stop us. And they did it to send Iran over the edge to do exactly the type of thing they accused Israel doing? Killing women and children and committing terrorism. So Iran officially lost its mind and they attacked workers at an oil refinery, they bombed a hospital, they did what what the IDF does. They no longer could sit by and be like passively saying, well, we don't act like that. They attacked Qatar for no reason. Qatar had nothing to do with that stuff. But they did it because there's a military base the U.S. built for the Qatari and for the U.S. military. Good job, fucking idiots of Iran. You brought your own downfall. And that's the sad thing. But this is how the world works. The CIA plots everything, and Trump sits there like all puppets of the CIA, and he does what his masters tell him. He dances for the masters. Because he understands now, if he doesn't do what they say, he's fucked. Every president learns this when the CIA runs the government. When Jimmy Carter thought he could stop the CIA, they got rid of him. They, in fact, were behind the whole Iran, the whole thing with the hostage situation when they removed the Shah, when they set up for the CIA. The whole thing with the hostage situation was where the forcing the Ayatollah and the Iran Revolution removing the Shah and take him to England was to set up the hostage situation because they knew they weren't going to give the Shah back. So they set it up to ruin Jimmy Carter's career for cutting their funding. That's right. But the funny thing, after all that, they sold under Reagan, they sold weapons to Iran. It's called the Iran-Contra, and this is where Jeffrey Epstein came in. I've done a couple of videos about it. He was a Bear Stearns investor, and they went from that to arms dealer, to money launderer, to sex trafficker for the CIA. They trafficked the children to Washington, to Hollywood. Jeffrey Epstein worked for them. He was still working for them when he had his island. So what they do, they got rid of him because they were worried he might talk even though he had no reason to talk. Jeffrey Epstein knew never to open, and that got him killed. That's why he's dead, because even though he trusted his former handlers and the Palantir, they decided to take him out. Cut all loose ends. Make sure anybody else, when they go after Ghislaine Maxwell, by violating the deal they made, that she won't open her mouth. P. Diddy won't ruin things and be a good little boy. Just like anybody else they decide to get rid of. Another asset. Maybe they'll take out Oprah Winfrey because she was trafficking girls to Harvey Weinstein for behalf of the CIA. Maybe they're going after the Tate brothers, but they make that real easy. Yes. So, this is the evil of the CIA. And Trump is just their little bitch. And anybody who believes that shit about Maduro, you are as dumb as you look. That's why I don't tend to have friends, because I speak my mind. I've said things that I don't regret, that I have a different opinion of the other side after what happened to Charlie Kirk, because they were celebrating. And I said, I can't talk to these people. And I don't support the Chinese government. I definitely support the people of China, but I don't support, I don't live in China, so I can't, but a lot of people like to act like they know about China because they listen to the U.S. government lie about China. Things like, oh, they're stealing our intellectual property. Oh, fuck off. Or the fact that TikTok was sold. No, it wasn't. They can't sell the algorithm that makes TikTok. So even if the U.S. buys it, they'll just buy the name TikTok. The algorithm goes back to the Chinese government because it's their property. They will never sell it. But yeah, there you go. So I just want to do that real quick. The indictment, I've read the indictment. It was ridiculously stupid. Oh my God. They have no case against him. But knowing how our legal system, our corrupt legal system that all the idiots chirping about now under Trump, they're mad when the courts step in and stop them from deporting people, but they'll celebrate when Maduro's found guilty if he is. And they'll go, yes, the courts are on our side. These people are like the sheep with short attention spans that forgets how the courts have been against Trump, except for, of course, the Supreme Court. Yeah. And they'll go, yes, we won. You won nothing. Enjoy your war to come, morons. Oh, we're going to go to war with China, and these idiots clapping and harp and like fucking seal. We got to call me. What's going on? Oh, remember when the whole draft thing, when the government changed the draft? Do you remember that? Oh, enjoy going to war. I'm not going to war because I'm not able to, but many of you will enjoy watching children get killed to fight China. There you go. That's coming, people, just like war with Russia. So much for that peace plan and everything else. Enjoy. Because I'm going to go see the Lupin 3 movie that's in theaters. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm seeing that Tuesday night. It's playing out here where I live. Actually, not exactly where I live, but I'm going to the theater to see it. Because I saw the trailer and I said, oh yeah, I want to see this movie. I like Lupin the Third. The animation, I watch it in Japanese. It's going to be in Japanese with subtitles. That's the way it should be. I've listened to the English track. It's fine. It's not based in Italy, in Japan. It's Europe. But I prefer the Japanese with subtitles. They sound so much better. Not all American voice actors are terrible. Yeah. I like some of them. Johnny Young Bosch, Crispin Freeman, especially when he did Alucard for Helsing and Helsing Unlimited. He has a great baritone voice. Yeah, I like some American voice actors. And, they do a good job. The cast who did, the English dub for Full Metal Alchemist, both versions were fantastic. They did a great job. You had a great cast there. American voice actors before all the stupid, pretentious shit got involved. So, yeah. And... So, yeah. And... Yep. And so this is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Have a good night.